Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about 10 study tips that can help you get your license or upgrade. So stick around. Hey everybody, welcome back to Everything Ham Radio. My name is Curtis. My call sign is Kilo 5 Charlie Lima Mike, and today we're going to be talking about 10 study tips that can help you get your technician class license or upgrade to general or extra. So before we get into that, make sure you smack that subscribe button down the bottom right hand corner of this video. Make sure you click on the bell icon as well so you don't miss anything. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/everythinghamradio. I'm on Twitter at K5CLM. I'm on Instagram at everything_hamradio, and of course the blog at everythinghamradio.com. So let's get into the study tips for today. Set your test date. Don't make it too far away. Set it about 2 or 6 weeks tops. Don't go past 6 weeks though. Set your date, put it on your calendar, make some reminders, every week or something like that. If you're say you're doing it on a Sunday, so every Sunday up until that day, make sure that you put a post on your calendar saying 1 week, 2 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever, however many weeks you have until your test date, and put that on your calendar. Make a alert for it and everything so it pops up on your phone, or write it on a desktop calendar or a wall calendar, something like that. But make sure you do a countdown. And also set the date with your the team of people that are going to be giving your tests, so that you have that appointment already, and that'll give you the drive a little bit better to make sure that you hit that goal. You want to study for a minimum of 20 minutes a day. Anything less than that, your brain has not quite kicked into learning new material, and you're going to be going over material that you already know, that you're just kind of refreshing in your mind. So you want to do it a minimum of 20 hours. I highly recommend that you do it for about an hour a day. And you can do it on 2 30-minute sessions. You can do it, say, 30 minutes at lunchtime on your lunch break, and 30 minutes in the evening, maybe 30 minutes in the morning if you're a morning person, before you go to work, and then 30 minutes in the evening or lunch or whatever. But study for a minimum of 1 hour a day. Now, in the week coming up to your test, say it's a Monday and you're testing that Sunday, you want to up it a little bit. Up it to about 90 minutes a day, or even 2 hours a day. You really can't overstudy. I know a lot of people would think that, I studied this much, my brain's going to turn to mush or whatever. That doesn't happen. There is a lot of material, yes, but if you study throughout the time frame that you set yourself, you can't overstudy. And studies have shown that the material that you learn that week, or the stuff that you learn or you read over that week, is going to be more fresh in your mind than anything prior to that. So in the week prior, make sure you up your study time. Skip the math questions in your studying. Now, I say skip the math questions, but you don't want to totally skip it. If the question is going to take you, or if the answer is going to take you less than 30 seconds to get, go ahead and do that. If it's an Ohm's Law question or a frequency calculation question, which is all you're going to have in your technician class anyways, it's not going to take that very long. It's going to be, what's the voltage of something, and you're going to have the resistance and the amperage, and all you got to do is put those two numbers together and you get your answer. If you know your Ohm's Law and you know your frequency calculation, it's super easy. You can use a calculator, but it has to be just a regular plain Jane calculator that just does, like, adding, subtracting, multiplication, division. It can't be a graphing calculator or anything like that. But you can do it just as easily on a pen and paper, and go less than that that 30-second mark. Now, the other reason I say skip the math questions is because on the technician class license, actually, let me back up here just a minute. When you're taking your test, there is one question from each section of the question pool that is pulled into the test, okay? You're gonna have 25 questions on your technician and your general, and you're gonna have 50 questions on your extra. So the max number that you're gonna have on your technician class test that is math related, and by math related I mean something that you have to add or multiply, divide, something like that, is only 4 questions. So 4 questions out of 25 questions is all that you're going to have max on a test. Now I've seen tests that we have given that there is no math questions at all. Maybe you'll have 1 or 2, but they're easy. And on the technician class license and the general class license, you can miss 11 questions and still pass the test. On the extra class license, you can miss 13. Now, on the general class license, there's 1 more. You're going to have a maximum of 5. So you can. That's still within that 9 questions that you can miss. On the extra, it's a little bit closer. You're going to have a maximum of 12 questions that deal with math, and you can miss 13 and still pass. So on the extra class, it's going to be a little bit closer, but if you know everything else, you can skip all the math questions, you can get them wrong, you can guess on them, whatever, and still pass your test if you know all the rest of the stuff. When you're studying, only read the correct answers. Now, by the correct answers, I mean don't read all the extra stuff, all the distractors or the wrong answers. Just read the correct answers. And if you'll remember right, in a couple of review videos I did, both the week before last and the one before that, on hamstudy.com and on a app for your phones. It highlights just the correct answer. And on one of them, on hamstudy.com, I believe is what it was, you can actually click on a button and it'll get rid of all the distracting questions, or just the distracting answers. So only read the correct answers. And the reason I say that is because when you're taking your test, you're going to read your question and you're going to read through the answers. And when you see that answer that you've only read for that question, it's going to pop out at you and it's going to say, hey, I'm the correct answer. And that's the one you're going to put. Now, in that same instance, though, you don't want to overthink it. Don't overthink when you're taking your test, when you're taking practice tests or quiz or something like that. Don't overthink your answers. Typically, the first answer that you put is going to be right. I have given so many tests where somebody has put the correct answer and then came back later and changed it and got it wrong. Your first answer is typically your correct answer. So don't change it unless you're 100%, 1000% correct that that is the wrong answer. This is kind of a general study tip here. Find some place that you're going to study. Find some place that's quiet. If you need that thing, you know, people learn different ways. Some people have to have music playing in the background or TV playing in the background. Some people need it absolutely quiet, like I do. But find some place that you're going to study. Find some place that doesn't have distractions. And if you need a radio to study, then by all means use that radio to study. But that's not a distraction for you. But if you need the absolute silence, find some place where you can get that. Maybe you're gonna spread out in your bed and close the door so that your wife or your kids don't come in. You know, say, hey, I'm gonna be studying for a little bit. You know, I need some quiet, I need some alone time. Lay it out in your bed and read it. Maybe you have an office or a desk where you can go into your office, shut the door, and focus entirely on that. Maybe you want to do it at a park or out in the yard or on your back porch or at your dining room table. Now, granted, if you're at your dining room table and you have kids and they're awake, they're going to come and say, hey, Daddy, what are you doing? Or hey, Mommy, what are you doing? So maybe the dining room table is probably not the best thing to do unless they're asleep or at school or something along those lines. Don't study past your normal bedtime. If you normally go to bed at, say, 10 o'clock every night, don't stay up until 11 to study. Your brain is already going to be in the mode of going to bed at 10 o'clock, and it's going to start shutting down, and you're not going to learn stuff as easily. Now, the same goes true to waking up early. If you wake up at 6 o'clock every morning, don't wake up at 5 because you're not going to be awake. You're going to get up, you're going to have your morning coffee, you're going to have, go outside and smoke if you smoke, whatever. you're going to have a 30-minute window that you're going to be doing this to try and get yourself awake, and you're not going to have the time that you need to study. So don't study past your bedtime. Don't wake up early to study. Find some place in your normal waking time to study. Now, if you're a morning person, by all means, do it in the morning. If you're a night person, by all means, do it at night. But pick a time and stick to it. Now, in that same instance, though, just a minute ago where we talked about the places, you also want to kind of spread it out, okay? You want to study in different places. Maybe one time you'll study in a park while you're at work. You know, take a lunch with you, go to a park next door, go to a seating area or something like that. Eat your lunch real fast and study. And then later on that night, you're gonna study in a different place. If you do it all at home, maybe one day you'll be on your bed, maybe one time you'll be in your office, but pick different locations to study at, because it kind of helps your brain associate these questions not so much with one spot, but different areas. And it helps your brain study a little bit better. Make sure you eat healthy. Avoid the sugary stuff. Get stuff that's going to release in a slow manner. You know, get your stuff like your proteins, your meats, your nuts, fish, stuff like that. Make sure you eat those while you're studying, and especially before you take your test. Now, if you're going to take your test at, say, 6 o'clock on a, you know, some evening or something like that, make sure you eat a good meal before then. You don't want to go in there and your tummy be rumbling and you know, you're starving, you can't think because you're so hungry. Make sure you eat a good meal before you take your test. Make sure you eat good while you're studying. You know, if your body is good and your belly is full, your mind is going to work better and retain the information a whole lot better than if you just, you know, if you're hungry. And you also, like I said, you want to avoid the sugary stuff, because if you do sugary stuff, if you do candy or, you know, sugary cereal, something like that for breakfast in the morning, and then you're going to go take your test, that energy that the sugary food gives you is only going to last for a short amount of time. And then you're going to crash and you're going to be hungry, you're going to be tired, whatever. If you don't know how you learn the best right now, most people do. Most people know how they learn the best. But if you don't know how, figure it out. A lot of people, you know, you're going to have your people that read the best and learn that way. You're going to have people that listen the best and learn that way. You're going to have people that write the best and learn that way. Whichever way it is, figure it out, and that's what you're going to want to stick with. If you read the best, then by all means, get a book, get your computer, whatever it is, and read. If you do it better by listening, you can get audiobooks. KB6NU.com has all of his no-nonsense study guides on audiobooks, I believe, that you can get from Amazon. Then you can also read it out loud. And when you read out loud, you not only hear it, but you also are reading it, so you kind of get a double whammy there. If you learn better by writing, write the answers down, write the questions down, and however it is you do it, that's what you need to do. Don't be afraid to ask somebody if you don't understand a question. And, you know, if you're going through a class, hopefully they're going to give you an Elmer. They're going to give you somebody that you can call, even the person that's given the class. You can call them and ask them, hey, you know, I don't understand this question. Can you explain it to me a little bit? Or get together with some of the other people that are taking the class and study in a group. Then if somebody understands something and somebody else doesn't, y'all can talk about it, and both y'all can learn from it and kind of work off each other. But however it is that you do, make sure you ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I'm bad when it comes to that. If I don't understand something, I'm gonna research it, I'm gonna study it, I'm gonna figure it out by myself, but I hate asking for help. And that's just a character flaw with me. And I'm sure there's other people that are out there the same way, but don't be afraid to ask for help, especially if you don't understand something. There's going to be people out there that are going to help you, and especially in this hobby. This hobby is so full of people that are willing to help. And I'm not talking about just with studying. I'm talking about putting up radio antennas, taking down towers, installing radios, whatever the case may be. This hobby is full of people that are willing to help. And on top of that, it's part of the hobby. You know, doing Skywarn, doing storm spotting, doing race season, Aries events, stuff like that. This hobby is a lot to do with helping other people. All right, so that is the 10 study tips that I have for you. Thank you all very much for tuning in today. Make sure you, again, smack that subscribe button and don't forget the bell icon so you don't miss anything. I do review videos on Fridays and other videos scattered about throughout the week, typically on Monday and Tuesdays when I do videos, stuff like this. Make sure you check us out on Facebook at Everything Ham Radio, on Twitter at K5CLM, Instagram, everything_ham radio, and of course the blog at everythinghamradio.com. I try to do blog posts on times when I'm not doing videos, so check out the website as well to get a lot more great content. So I guess that is about it for today. Thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see y'all next time. 73 y'all.